good day to you and happy Sunday. We hope you have had a blessed day, and this afternoon we want to talk about something very important. And probably if you miss church service in the morning, then this can be a great opportunity for you to learn something and how to go about it. Even though what we are going to talk about is talking about Father's Day, but you will still learn a lot. And before we actually get into our message, I want to say I am here with
Amingo Nancy.
And I myself, I am Nkengacha Marcelos Agendia. And as I just said, we'll be talking about the Father's Day. You know, today is the third Sunday of the month of June. And there is a very important event that is being celebrated today. And it is true, many might not know why some do know and they do not have any time to celebrate it. They don't see it important. But after listening to this message, you will really see the importance of celebrating this day. And that is the reason why you should be able to listen to us very keenly. And we shall be talking about the origin of the Father's Day, the importance of the Father's Day, and we shall be looking at some key lessons that we learn from this day and that we can actually put into practice on a day like this. Maybe when we have to say Happy Father's Day to our fathers, we know exactly what we are talking about and how to go about it. And so we shall start immediately with the origin of the Father's Day. It is very important you know about this so that you better know how to celebrate this day. And talking about the origin, Nancy, I have come across a name, Sonora Dot. Who is she and what role did she really play in getting the Father's Day officialized?
Well, Brother Maxwell, thank you very much. Well, when we talk of Sonora Dot, we talk of Father's Day. That's because Sonora Dot is a little girl that made so much effort to see that this day was actually officialized. And she happened to be the daughter of an American veteran by name William Jackson. So, William Jackson actually was, let's say, a single parent. He had 5 kids and he had to bring up all those children on his own without the help of a mother. So when Sonora Dot grew up, she was like,
very impressed.
She was challenged and impressed with what her father did. And so she said, if my father could do this, I think there's something, or there could be something that I can do for us to really celebrate him for what he has done. And being motivated also by a little girl that we all know about, a girl that we know about, Anna Jarvis,
yeah,
who also made efforts to see that the Mother's Day was brought about, and up to today we are celebrating Mother's Day. And now for Sonora Dot, she requested, she wrote letters to churches, like we have the Spoken Ministerial Alliance.
Yeah.
She actually wrote requesting that the 5th of June, which happens to be her father's birthday, should be observed as what? Father's Day. So when she wrote to the churches like that, the church now, on the other hand, had to propose rather the 3rd Sunday of June. So now, in the year 1966, the president, Lyndon B. Johnson,
that was the 36th president of America.
Obviously, he was. And so he actually signed a presidential proclamation fixing the 3rd Sunday of June as Father's Day. Thank you. Well, now 10 years, or is it some years later, the then president, that's in 1972, the then president, who was Richard Nixon, he actually declared Father's Day what? A national holiday. Until today, we are celebrating Father's Day. Thanks to who? Sonora Dot. Amen.
Yeah. These children, they really have really played a key role. Talking about Sonora Dot and Anna Jarvis. They really played key roles at different times to really make these 2 days, the Mother's Day and the Father's Day, to be officialized.
Yeah.
And it's a great lesson to learn. It means whatever thing we are doing as parents, our children They see our efforts, and it's that same effort that should cause you to pick your phone and call your father and tell him Happy Father's Day, Papa. And so I think it has been a great, and I remember she wrote to several authorities, she wrote to different churches, she wrote to the Spokane Ministerial Alliance, she wrote to shopkeepers, she wrote different letters to different government officials, and wow, she was even invited to one of such meetings with the Ministerial Alliance, and they thought probably she actually convinced them, and that was really impressed. So, but it will appear different countries
They actually have their own days that they celebrate their Father's Day. So it's not really like the third Sunday of June happens to be Father's Day in the whole world. It's actually some countries have their own separate days. So.
Okay. Yeah, but the idea here, the most important thing here is that this day was fought for and is being celebrated today. And this should really get us working with these ideas and celebrating it the right way. And now, thank you very much. This takes us to the next part of our message, which is talking about the importance of this day. How important is it? And so here, talking about importance, I want us to look at parents or at fathers the way they are. If you look at, let's just get back to the Garden of Eden. I always like quoting the Garden of Eden, where the first man stems from. Yeah, you see, Adam actually played a resourceful role in the creation of the woman. You understand, God actually removed the rib of Adam and used it to create the woman. And you also see and understand the role that man plays in fulfilling God's command in the process of procreation and in raising up children. Man has a key role that we know. And one very important thing that you have to understand is just look at yourself. You that is watching us, look at yourself, and then you look at your father. Probably you see and you understand the key role that your father has played in your life, in raising you up. And sometimes this happens through serious challenges in the society. Your father goes through the thick and the thin to ensure that you are what you are today. That is what it is. Most often they even go without food. They starve. They go through diseases, sicknesses to ensure that you are what you are today. And this is why we see this day so important. And so this day is important because it's a day that maybe within a year you should be able to have that day that you reserve especially for your father. And that you can pick up your phone and you call him and you say, Papa, I see and acknowledge the great works that you have been doing in my life as a father. You as a woman, you can call your husband and say, Daddy, thank you very much for the way you have been keeping me. Happy Father's Day. Because as a husband, you are a father to your wife. And so that is how important we should see this day. It's a day, a unique day per year that we should be able to talk with our parents, with our fathers. We should be able to call our father and tell him, Papa, thank you. Just to say thank you. I acknowledge this day and I dedicate it to you.
So I haven't heard of the origin and the importance of Father's Day. There are some lessons, very important lessons that we need to apply in our lives. And the first lesson is that Father's Day should be used as a day of recognition and reconciliation.
Yeah, a day of recognition and reconciliation. And here we have broken it down into two. You have recognition and reconciliation by the children, that is by the child that you are, about the works that your father has done in your life, and maybe about the errors or the mistakes that you have done in your life as you grow up as a child. And here, I just want to quote a remark that, do you know that despite all these activity, these challenges that parents go through, this work that parents go through to actually make you what you are, do you know that there are some children who actually look at their parents as their enemies? They look at their parents, their fathers, as someone who is actually responsible for their failure in life. And with this, we have often seen children rise up against their fathers, some actually slaughtering their fathers, and we say that this is wrong. And it is the work of the devil, because you understand from Genesis chapter 3 verse 15 that God said, between you, that is between us human beings and our offsprings, and Satan and its offsprings, that we were actually going to live in a continuous battle until when Christ will come to give us victory over this battle. And so you have the devil using some children and presenting their parents, their fathers, to them as somebody who is wicked, as somebody who is evil. And it actually happens. And we are making those children to understand that that is the work of the devil. And that you don't need to look at your father as somebody who will do evil for you, or who will do evil to you. And this is a day that you actually have to learn this and stand against the devil and receive the victory that God has given you through Jesus Christ, and stand and tell the devil that he is a liar. And it's a time when you have to recognize the works of your father in your life, and you should be able to reconcile with him the way you used to see him, the way the devil has caused you to see him, and because of the errors that you might have committed in the course of the year. Maybe your father actually wanted that you should go this way, but you rather went that way without his knowledge, and you should be able to tell him, Father, I have wronged you, and I am asking for your forgiveness. And why kill your father? We understand that even if your father was possessed, you don't need to fight against his flesh. You don't need to slaughter him. Because Ephesians 6:12 makes us to understand that we fight against powers and principalities and not against the flesh and blood. And so if your father has done something wrong to you, maybe out of maybe because ignorance, or because you have been probably infiltrated by the devil, because of the work of Satan, you should be able to fight rather the Satan rather than fighting your father. And it's very something very pitiful that some children actually rise against their parents. Now, that said, talking about recognition and reconciliation on the part of the father, we actually acknowledge that there are some fathers that actually act somehow radical, and we still understand that it is the work of the devil. You see a young man, you see a father abandoning the wife and the children to live somewhere else, just go about his life, forgetting that he has children to take care of. You see a young man gets a woman pregnant, and then he abandons that woman with a child. And we are saying that this is totally wrong. You are living under the influence of the devil. Satan has infiltrated you, and you should be able to use this day to tell Satan that you are a liar. I am gaining my family based on the victory that God has given me through Jesus Christ. And so this is a day for you to reconcile with your children, for you to reconcile with your wife, and get back on track with your children and make a very wonderful family. And now, maybe Nancy has something to add.
Yes, I just want to add that, as parents, we know how challenging it is, or we know how challenging it is. Very challenging to bring up a child, and seeing a child now standing in front of you to talk back at you, it's somehow irritating, and it might force you to do something weird. So what am I trying to say? That we need to be more understanding. There's no need for you to abandon your family because of a child, or you impregnate a woman and you abandon the child for what? Why are you supposed to do that? You are not. Had it been Sonora Dot's father was like that, I don't think we'll be celebrating a day like this. So we need to try and be responsible. Let's try and understand our children the more, so that this day also will be worth celebrating as it is already.
This should be a very key message to you. Take the challenge, defeat the devil at this point in time, and pick a phone and call that your child that you have abandoned for years. If you are a child that has abandoned your father for years and you see him as your devil, you see him as somebody who is responsible for your failure, I said it's a lie. It's a very big lie that the devil has told you. Pick up your phone, tell the devil that he's a liar, and you call your father and tell him, Papa, sorry, reconcile with him and tell him Happy Father's Day. And probably this should take us to our second point.
Yes, the second point, which says Father's Day is worth celebrating in a simple way.
Yeah.
In a simple way. You don't need to do extraordinary things on a Father's Day because you want to celebrate your father.
Yeah.
What if you don't have those the means to do all those things? Doesn't mean you won't celebrate your father. Of course not. It shouldn't be celebrated in an extravagant way. Very simple.
And this is something that's very common to us Africans.
Yes.
We like going extra miles. When we say is this, we want to do this and we do that. When we say celebration, we are thinking of the abundant food stuff. We are thinking about the abundant bottles of drinks and so on and so forth. But we say no. At your level, you can celebrate your Father's Day in a grand style. After all, I would say that how big you do your celebration is actually subjective. You can celebrate in a very simple way, but it's somehow so big to you. And the most important thing here is how your father will receive that message. Just imagine that you have offended your father for the whole year and you don't even want to see him because of some kind of trash that the devil has told you over the years. And just imagine you picking up your phone, calling him and say, Papa, I'm sorry. And then your father accepts you back. That is big celebration. Yeah, it doesn't actually need the abundance of food and drinks and so on and so forth. And just be moderate. And after all, that is what the Bible actually advises. To be moderate, not to do things in excesses and so on and so forth.
In order.
Yeah, so I think that takes us to our third and last point.
Yes, and it says any bad thing you do to your father, it's a seed that you are sowing.
That is very important. Every step that we take in life, we have benefits. We have either benefits or challenges or the bad things that will happen to us because of those steps. Now, so to say, I'm really saying that everything we do in life will certainly have fruits. But the question here is, will your fruits be the bad fruits or the good fruits? And so, every bad thing that you do to your father, this you have to take note. Every bad thing that you do to your father, you will not go unpunished. There are immediate punishment that you will receive here on earth, and there are eternal punishment that you will receive when you are dead and you are gone. And it's a seed. If you do bad, evil, imagine the devil has convinced you, just like they convinced Eve and Adam in the Garden of Eden that, oh no, this food, if you eat it, nothing bad will happen to you. You will become like God. Just imagine the devil has told you that, look, that your failure like that. Your father is responsible. And you now see your father as evil. That is a seed that you are sowing. You wake up, you insult your father, you even go to the extent of giving him some serious slaps, and God forbid, to those people that actually kill their fathers because someone somewhere has told you that he's responsible for your failure. We are saying that that is a seed that you are sowing. And that seed will actually germinate into a tree. It will grow. And by the time it yields fruit, you are also an adult and a father. And those fruits are bad fruits that you will be unable to bear. Your children will teach you a lesson that you will never forget in your life. And that lesson will not just be the same lesson that you gave your father, but it will be far more than what you did to your father. And so we are saying that be that good child. This should be a turning point. This Father's Day should be a day that you use to reflect on these things. And you should be able to say, Papa, oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. Now I have realized myself, and you come back. Just be that prodigal son. And you come back. You should be able to stand firm and defeat the devil, because God has given us that possibility to have the victory that we need against Satan. And so these were the three key lessons that we had for you. This was the message that we had for you today, and we hope that you are blessed in one way or the other. We also hope that you are going to help share our message on your different platforms, because that is how you bless others. So I think we have come to the end of this message.
Yes. We have come to the end of this beautiful message, and I believe that you are going to implement it in your own life. Let's not just hear it. Let's try to practice it. Practice it like any Father's Day. It must not be a Father's Day. Try to recognize the efforts that your father has done for you to be who you are today, because it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy to bring up a child. So, and we should just try and be that kind of child like Sonora Dot. You see what she did, and she was even proposing her father's birthday.
Yeah,
her father's birthday.
Course,
that's just to tell you how grateful she was.
Yeah.
That in such a way that even that day would not be able to express her feelings for her father. So let's just try to be such children. Let's take the example of Sonora Dot and also be an example. Let's try to recognize the efforts of our parents.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nancy, for that conclusive message. We please kindly call on you to search our video message on Mother's Day and you watch it as well as other several video messages that we have been doing every Sunday. You'll be blessed as you watch. So thank you very much. Happy Father's Day to that my father who is in the village. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers around the world. God bless you all as you work hard in raising up your children.
Yes, I would like to say a special happy Father's Day to my beloved father, Mofo Daniel. I really love you so much. Thank you very much for all what you've done in my life. And also this is my father.
Wow, thank you. What a
my
surprise.
Father.
Thank you.
He's my all-in-one brother.
Yeah, thank you.
So happy Father's Day to all of you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Sound, where